Hey everybody, me again. Yes, this is my second video of the day in less than about 20 minutes. My reason is that something else has been on the brain as of the last week or so, and for some reason I've been thinking about death lately, and it seems like around every corner some topic or some discussion comes up that triggers the thoughts. And it had to do with a discussion that my boyfriend and I had last night concerning, I guess we were talking about suicide in essence, and whether or not, under what circumstances we would find it plausible to kill ourselves. I know it's really morbid, but for some reason this topic came up. Anyway, I started to realize more and more, especially since I took a sociology class last term about death scares the living shit out of me. I will be the first one to admit that I have yet to accept the concept of death. Why is that? I used to be okay with it. I used to have some grasp of it because I refused to allow myself to question whether or not there was an afterlife. Because I think, in essence, the concept of nothingness, the concept of a total lack of awareness, of being, of feeling, scares me. And I can't conceive it. There's no way in my human brain to conceive that fully. So I had to write a paper on this not too long ago. And excuse me, I'm sitting on the floor, but not too long ago I had to write a paper on this topic. And I discovered that the thing that scares me the most, more than anything, is the actively dying process. My mom is a home care nurse, so I have been, or a hospice nurse, so I've heard a lot of stories about patients who are basically at the end, and she's had the pleasure of sitting with a lot of people as they died. And I read about the details of what happens to your body as it starts to shut down. And to be honest with you, unless you're totally medicated and doped up and not able to feel anything, it sounds awful. It sounds frightening if you're aware of what's going on. So that's the first thing that scares me. The second thing that scares me, again, is what if there's nothing on the other side? What if, when your body gives out, you are met by eternal darkness and nothingness? What then? You just rot in the ground? I would like to believe, I would love to believe, that there is some kind of afterlife, that there is some kind of state of being and awareness after this one. My ideal system is the one of reincarnation. I love the concept of reincarnation. I love the concept of karma that leads to and affects reincarnation. But unfortunately, that may not be the reality. In any case, I basically discovered that the concept of death is one of those things in life that scares me the most. And it's actually gotten worse since I started having panic attacks about 5 or 6 months ago, I think. Yeah, about 5 or 6 months ago. For those of you who have never had a panic attack, when you're in the middle of one of these attacks, you essentially are convinced that you're going to die. The case with me is that I get very short of breath. I feel like I'm being suffocated, and I start to search for escape routes, essentially. What if I can't breathe? Is there something nearby? Is there, medical attention that I can seek? It takes a lot to set me off like that, to get my mind spinning in that fashion, but it does happen. And I think that is what started me on this, on this decline into this fear of death. And so that's essentially my thought on that. I mean, if I could stop the panic attacks, I would. If I could find it in my heart to truly believe without question that there is an afterlife or that reincarnation occurs after someone passes away, I would. I would totally take control over that. But the reality is there's no way to know. Either way, what's going to happen to me after I, leave this mortal coil, as Hamlet said, or as Shakespeare said, I guess. And that in itself kind of frightens me. There's no way to know. There is absolutely no way to reassure myself that, you know, what I'll experience after the actively dying process that sounds so gruesome is going to be a relief. It's going to be pleasant. So anyway, I'm curious to know, what are your thoughts on death? What are your thoughts on what happens in the afterlife, if there is an afterlife? Do you believe that there is an afterlife? Anyway, I would love to hear your responses, so get back to me. Thanks.